Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Start off with the biggest news of the week. The Rats lost! But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time. Forget yourself now. If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Between two beers.
Getting down.
Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And y'all know.
Episode 200! We did it!
We did. No,
It's
wait,
200.
that was last week.
Oh, wait.
That was
Are
last
we?
week.
Oh, damn it. Okay,
That was
fine. Well,
201, episode 201 on Thursday, March 27th,
so that's close.
2025, on the road to 300.
On the road
Yes.
to 300, on the road to WrestleMania.
That is what we are. That is what we are on, Pluggo.
MLB opening day.
Hey, listen.
Sweet 16's popping off. Your team got yourself a receiver that you're super fond of.
I never had a problem with Steph Diggs.
Yes, you did.
No. I think
Do I need to pull receipts on how often?
No.
How
He's a
often?
diva.
Wait. Let me finish. All season, you were praising how awesome it was for Josh Allen to not have to worry about throwing the ball to diva receiver Stephon Diggs. And now that he's got a Patriots uniform on, you're like, I don't got a problem with Stephon Diggs.
We needed talent in the room, and he is the most talented guy by leaps and bounds.
For sure. But
By
it was
leaps and bounds. And at the
some
end of the
very
day,
nice things about him this year.
Drake May, but here's the thing. I did say that. I openly did say that. However, where Drake May is in his career is not where Josh Allen was dealing with that. Steph Diggs wasn't doing that to Josh Allen when Josh Allen was at Drake May's level. Steph Diggs was the receiver that Josh Allen relied on year after year after year after year. And then when Josh Allen elevated his game to become a top 3 quarterback and he started spreading the ball around more because he became better, Stephon Diggs started being a diva wide receiver. So as long as he shows up and he's the Steph Diggs that was there for early Josh Allen, for early Drake May, that's fine. But regardless of that,
I love how you put that spin on it, but I appreciate it.
It's a correct spin. So there's no spin. It's just correct. It's just a
I
correct
don't know.
spin.
You can't be a diva wide receiver on one team and then be the perfect fit on another.
I agree. However, he went to Houston and he hurt himself last year. So that's the most important thing is he's coming back from a major injury. We got to see how he actually is. But for everything we heard, he was a good teammate and a good player down in Houston with CJ Stroud. I expect him to do the same, and I expect Mike Vrabel and him had a conversation, and Mike Vrabel made it very clear how things were going to go. And I don't know if you've seen Mike Vrabel anytime recently. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he was a middle linebacker.
And if he has to, he'll put someone in their place. And
That's
I
fair.
think Diggs would understand that, and he would do what is asked. Look at I think Steph Diggs is gonna be a good teammate because he's gonna catch 200. There's nobody else. There's nobody else.
We got David in the chat saying this show is gonna cook. Scott is in the house. He said the Red Sox beat the Rangers. They're
Well, we
undefeated. World Series champ Red
Here it
Sox.
comes.
And Ryan Solomon saying Mr. Positive JPJ.
Listen, look at we're feeling good. The above anything, what I'm most happy about is that the Patriots spent money. That was a legitimate contract they gave him, like overpaid for him, which you have to overpay for. Listen, nobody wants to come play in New England. We don't have Tom Brady. Like there were reasons for people to come to New England before. You had Tom Brady. You were going to win.
Remember the good old days in New England? Like stars would be like, "I'll go for $1 million bucks."
I'll go take the league minimum
Yeah.
because I'm going to win a Super Bowl and play next to Tom Brady.
I'm Randy Moss. I'll play for the vet minimum. I don't care.
Like that was what it was. You know what it is now? Oh, I'm gonna go play in the freezing cold on a 4-win team. So you know what? You know what they call that around here? They call that the suck tax. You got to pay the suck tax.
Well, you had to pay the suck tax plus the receivers were depleting.
They were all gone.
They were all gone. He was left, and you're like, well, if we don't get him, we get no one.
DK apparently Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin was the guy we wanted. We paid him. There were reports saying that we gave him basically a blank check. Like, yo, we want you, whatever you want. But he likes being in Tampa. He's comfortable. His family's there, so he went back to Tampa. That was the guy that apparently it was like a rumored team they didn't name that like offered like a lot. That was the Patriots. That was the Patriots that did that. But he said no. Brandon Ayuk, we completed a trade last year for him. He said, no, fuck that. No, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf, like a month ago, came out and said, nah, New England ain't for me. So they didn't get involved with that. The one that made me angry was Deebo Samuel. I don't know why you wouldn't throw a 5th-round pick at San Francisco. A 5th-round pick. That's all Washington gave San Fran. Now, I know he's hurt. I know he's on the backside of the career. I know he's not the player he was, but a 5th-round pick.
Are you now okay? I know we got a lot of wrestling to talk.
Well, what our wrestling show by now?
But I got a question. I was thinking about this a little bit today, and again, they're going to be similar things, so it's going to be tough for you to pick. Would you be more? How do I want to word this? Is it more likely that Washington maintains the level that they're at now, or that the Patriots make the jump to the Washington's level of this year?
No, not yet. We don't have a left tackle.
Yeah, but if you drafted one per se.
I mean, we have the 4th pick in the draft. That Will Campbell guy
he's
at the combine had ridiculously short arms, apparently. And everyone was like all of a sudden saying you can't take him at 4, even though he's been the best left tackle in college football for 2.5 years.
I don't know if it was AI generated, but he was like, I don't know why my short arms are a problem now.
Well, because he had his pro day yesterday, and they remeasured him, and I guess they went up to 33 inches at the pro day, which is fine. I guess 32 and a half, you can't draft him for, but 33 is okay. Whatever.
Yeah, take him.
So
Mrs. Pluggo, Mrs. Pluggo's in the house.
There we go.
Talking to her. She got DK Steelers, right? DK Metcalf is a Steeler now.
Such a shame. Disgusting. Who's throwing him the football?
Aaron Rodgers, probably.
Okay. Then I don't have to worry about the Steelers.
Maybe.
I don't have to worry about the Steelers at all. No, I'm not done. We can go. Okay.
I just met anyway with the Steelers.
Yeah. She knows how I feel. So he had his pro day yesterday. They remeasured his arms, 33 inches, which I guess is okay. 32 and a half. Oh God, world's burning. But 33 inches, you're fine. And he had a quote though, where he said, like the actual quote was, for 2 years, nobody had my measurements, and nobody ever talked about my play. And he goes, and now all of a sudden, since the combine, I'm a bad player because he goes, I think that's BS. And I was like, all right. I was like, I like that. There you go. But anyway, I digress.
He ain't wrong. But everybody knows that half an inch is important.
I mean, listen, it is. I think the Washington Commanders will keep their level. They've actually gotten better with the moves they've made in the offseason. They've actually gotten better. They got another veteran wide receiver that is a guy that you can use as a running back. And, getting Deebo Samuel, if you can keep him healthy, that's a tremendous get for them. You add him to Terry McLaurin and the young kid, Diami Brown, that popped off, and, whatever. Like,
oh, for sure.
That's all right. Plus, they did some offensive line stuff. Like, Washington's still going to be good. The Patriots, I expect to be not a 4-win team, but an 8 or 9 win team. 9 wins would be 9 and 8. I feel is capable.
Hey, we'll take
I feel is. They still need to add one more receiver. They did good free agency wise on the defensive side of the ball. They got a bunch of guys, a bunch of good football players. No stars, but a bunch of good football players. You add another wide receiver to Diggs, and you actually get a left tackle, whether it is Will Campbell or somebody else. Now we're talking, because I do think Drake May is good. And then we go from there. But my Red Sox also, this is why I'm in a good mood. Because I come in here, my Patriots cheap-ass owner actually spent some money and got a wide receiver. That's right, I did think he went somewhere else. Man, he went to go die in Jacksonville, huh? Although they have a new coach, who knows?
Duval.
Oh yeah, that guy. Did he come from Tampa? Was he a Tampa?
Yeah, he was Tampa's. He was Tampa's off coordinator, and it was like kind of shady how he ended up in Jacksonville. I can't remember all the logistics, but they were going to keep him, and then he wasn't going to go, and then somehow at the 12th hour they were like, I don't know, backed up the truck for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay. My kids were talking. She says hashtag Go Steelers. Tell those kids to shut it. I'm just kidding. Hi, boys. Behave.
So yeah, that's.
But yeah, the Red Sox beat a team that a lot of people have in the World Series. So
listen,
there you go.
World Series champion 2 years ago. Had a little bit of a down year last year. They retooled. They're looking good. It was a good game. It was competitive. It was tied 2-2 in the ninth, going to the ninth. And there we are. 3-run. What happened?
Hold on. I told him I would do this. Al Bundy. Thanks, Steve. Hats off to the gentleman. Hats off, sir. I told him I'd take the hat off on stream today.
Fair.
That's a guy I work with. Yeah, opening day again is another one of these. We talked about it last year. Where
should be a federal holiday.
It should even that. It should just be like. I looked on ESPN today. It's like, all right, there was a game at 3 and there's a game at 7. That's it. On national TV on opening day. I understand that they have all the local contracts and the local affiliates. But it's like, give me a couple. Give me some.
I remember.
Get excited about, because again, the Tokyo series. I'm not like a lot. I'm not like a lot of haters and think it's a dumb thing. I think it's good for baseball. I think that they did astronomical numbers for them for what they wanted.
For sure.
But that doesn't count to me. And I know the Cubs were in it, but I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. to watch baseball.
It doesn't count. It counts. But
there should be a game at 1, 4.
I was gonna say that's how it was when we were younger.
On multiple stations.
Yeah. That's how it was when we were younger. I remember I would get out of school early on opening day. I would leave school early on opening day, and there'd be games at 1, 4, 7, and 10. So it was like literally a baseball game all through. Like once 1 o'clock started, it was baseball all night. Now it's a little bit different. It is a little bit different. They really push MLB TV and the streaming, even though MLB TV broke down today on opening day.
Baseball.
Unbelievable.
Baseball.
I was able to watch the Red Sox and that was really what mattered most. But MLB TV on opening day, they have everybody going on there to watch all these games, and their whole thing crashes.
It's just a problem that, like, if you don't have MLB TV and you don't have, the package, it's like it's hard to find a game sometimes. Like I'll be sitting there on a random like Friday night or Saturday, being like, man, I'd love to pull up a game, but you just can't find anything because. Unless it's because they don't start doing national MLB game of the week on Fox until like months into the season.
Yeah.
Like Apple TV has a Friday night game still, maybe, but it's like, do I
no, my Red Sox are the Friday night game tomorrow.
Are they? Because
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, Jesus.
So it's funny because around here, so we have the Red Sox own a channel called Nesson, and that's where the Red Sox games are, right? They do Red Sox and Bruins games on there. So Nesson is the only place you can watch the Red Sox unless they're on a national game.
Yep, and that's the same for the Cubs. They're on the Marquee Network.
There you go.
It's expensive as
yes, it is.
I can tell you this though. I can get locally. I can get White Sox games, but they're trash.
Oh,
and
they're real bad.
The only reason I would watch White Sox games is if A, I have nothing else to do, and B, they're playing the Cubs, because I'm not going out of my way to watch 162 Chicago White Sox games because those guys are garbage.
Yeah. So we have that channel, right? And cable is expensive as all hell. So let's just say you're like, I don't want to do cable. I'm going to go do YouTube TV. Nesson is not available on YouTube TV. It used to be, but then they had a disagreement because they're a bunch of greedy fucks.
Well, and YouTube TV is expensive too.
Exactly. And so Nesson's not on there. So then you look around, and the only streaming service that has Nesson available is one called Fubo. Have you heard about Fubo? They're kind of
Yeah.
So I could go sign up for Fubo, but then if I go sign up for Fubo, I don't get TNT or TBS. So I can't watch it. Well, I can watch it on Max, but you know what I mean. I can't watch basketball or Chuck and Shaq at the desk or AEW or So then it's like, okay. So then the only other option for me to watch the Red Sox is to they have an app called the Nesson 360 app, which is $30 a month. 30 should be 10.
Yeah.
The app is trash. It's broken half the time. It doesn't do anything but show the games. There's no like original programming. There's no cool interviews. There's no. It's just a bullshit, terrible app that they charge $30 a month for just to watch the games because they know they can.
Scott saying MLB pulled the contract from ESPN. Yeah, because we're talking about this now. Again, baseball, I think over the last couple of years, has been on the uptick a little bit in terms of attendance and numbers. They're starting to modernize the game. But yeah, ESPN even's going like, it ain't bringing in the views. It's not bringing in what we want. So we're not going to overpay for something. So they're pulling out. And it's going to be even harder. So hopefully whoever buys up the MLB contract at least.
It's just brutal. And then like
you can find hockey games. No, don't disrespect to hockey. This is not me saying hockey sucks.
Yeah, we are on a Canadian website.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the States, I'm just saying I can find a hockey game every night of the week on TV somewhere on a ESPN Plus or a TNT or where I can find it. And that's again, and I'm not knocking hockey but baseball is America's pastime. We should be able to find baseball every night of the week, easily accessible.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all I'm
100%.
saying. I'm not. That's why I'm not disrespecting hockey in the sense that anything. I'm just saying I could find hockey games. Basketball, I could find 4 nights a week easily. Football, obviously, when it's football season, you can find everything wherever you need it. It's easily accessible if you wanted to. Baseball, why aren't there a Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday primetime games, afternoon games? There should be more coverage so that you can get those fans that you keep clamoring for. But it doesn't matter. The money keeps rolling in anyway.
It's ridiculous.
Watch out, Ryan. I'll fight you. I wasn't.
Hey, take it easy.
I ain't scared of Ryan.
Take it easy. But yes, the Red Sox are going to win the World Series. So that is what's going to happen here. So I just need everyone to prepare. But yes, baseball started today. First game of the day was the Yankees, so I had to awfully watch them for an hour until the Red Sox started. They had 2 fly balls to right field that were home runs because their stadium is a joke. So
when guys like Austin Wells are parking it, you're just like, yep, that stadium.
That home run that Austin Wells hit would have been a fly ball to shallow right at Fenway Park. And he's hitting a leadoff homer. Although I will say, first catcher to hit a leadoff homer in the history of Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Why? Why don't more parks go short porch and right, dude? Why not?
I don't know. You know what's? Yeah, I mean, look at the Red Sox have the pesky pole. We have the shortest right field, technically.
Yeah.
But if you actually hit a home run to like actual right field, you have to actually get a good piece of the ball. You can't hit a pop up.
Yeah.
And fucking, the wind blows it for a home run. Ridiculous. Anyway, I digress. But yes, the Red Sox are going 162-0, and they are winning the World Series.
We should talk some wrestling, maybe, unless you want to keep going.
I mean, I can talk about anything, Pluggo. Nothing really happened.
Anything. You talk about anything. Well, talk to me about the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Great movie. Little Giants, that play. That's the play they used to win the game.
Yeah.
At the
I meant
end.
the actual annexation.
We had Al Bundy in the chat, but Ed O'Neill and the Cowboys, they go down. They go down with the annexation of Puerto Rico. Spike couldn't handle the icebox, bro. She ran him right the fuck over.
That keeps popping up on my TikTok. That clip at the end where they run that play, and then she just decks Spike at the goal line.
Like, fuck you. Yeah, she goes, Spike had no chance. After that, Spike was smitten.
After that, Spike was like, I don't know if I want to play football no more. I got rocked.
Yeah.
Kid had a concussion for sure.
Sure did.
That kid was on steroids, 100%. He had early onset CTE. Not to make jokes about it, but that kid was not right, and his dad was not helpful.
No,
that dad is what's wrong with these sports.
I mean, yeah, that dad was like the perfect epitome of like. You see a dad like that show up at the ball field, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, like that guy's here.
Here we go. These kids aren't going to be. It's never the kids that are the problem, Plug. It's never the kids that are the problem. It's the adults of the kids who act more childish than the fucking kids. They're the problem, and you can spot them from a mile away too. They when they're walking, you're like, oh, here we go. This is one of those. This is one of those. And then I have to. And then usually if I'm there, because I don't have children myself, but I have cousins in. I was
gonna ask, why are you going to Little League?
No, I have cousins that have young. They're my second cousin. Well, they're still my cousins. The young ones.
For sure.
I have cousins that are like high level. Like one of them is like really good at softball. Like she's in the big leagues around here. Like in softball, she's going to high school for it. Like colleges are already like she's very good. And you go to those games sometimes, and I'm the type of guy that I'm very reserved. Like I cheer and I can get loud, but I'm funny. But like I'm very reserved. I'm the type of guy that's looking at everybody else. That's like, who is going to be a problem that I might have to take care of as a problem? Because I'm the guy that will be like. If somebody starts popping off immediately, I'm the guy that's like, shut up. Like I go over there and I make it clear that if you continue, this is not going to go well. So like this is me via look, letting you know nobody cares what you have to say, you dumb fuck.
Lawrence is in the chat saying you're betting on Little League.
If it was allowed. I would.
JPJ is him, Billy says.
All right. I did want to talk about something.
If you're in the chat while JPJ thinks about what's talking about,
smash
the like button. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Share the live. All that fun stuff. Retweet it if you're on the X machine /Twitter. Let's get this popping. Let's party.
Yeah, let's go. TNA, they are on when we are on.
Yeah.
Because they are scared of us. And, they had to go, hey, we got to go against them. It's the only way we can survive.
They were not on Thursday nights when we started this program.
Correct. And they were like, who are these guys?
No.
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
But listen, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know the inner workings or I pay attention to the weekly product. All I know is the times that I tune into TNA, I am entertained. I got to go to Slammiversary last year, had a hell of a weekend there. That was a great time. They put on a great show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like letting someone like Gail Kim go is just not a smart decision. I feel like that is somebody you would want working backstage at your wrestling company. And
that makes sense.
I feel like, look, TNA has been around for a long time. They've been around for a long, long time, and that is a success to them for being around that long. But I feel like every 6 to 8 years, they just do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I'm aware. They do the dumbest stuff.
I haven't. I'm not like an
Scott Demore. They're like, let's get rid of this guy who's helped us cook. Let's get rid of Gail Kim. Let's bring back Tessa Blanchard. That's smart. Yeah, let's do that.
Yes.
They can't get out of their own way.
It's like, what are you doing, man? You got something good going on. Just keep the good shit. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. What are you doing? It makes no sense. I saw
some, and I don't know if it was just somebody stirring the pot or if it was like that WWE had a little bit of a hand in the Gail Kim decision, and it's like that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just know that, like, I hope that that's not the case, and I also know that, like, you need strong, very strong, and female minds, especially hers. She's very talented to help with women's divisions. Like, with something we always talk about is like we need female minds in there helping write stories for female talent, because we've seen how certain regimes and past iterations of wrestling promotions wrote female talent and did a piss poor job because they don't understand it. So this
current sometimes too.
Current as well. I'm just, I will say this. I have seen it. It's been better.
Oh, of course.
In my opinion, over the last couple of years or so, in terms of how the women have been booked. But the fact that you just like let her walk, I mean, there's got to be more to it than we're not privy to at this point. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, she posted on her Instagram. She said, I just wanted to say thank you to the fans, friends, and especially my peers for all the support you have given me over the last few days. I've received such an enormous amount of love, and it really has helped process this change for me. More than anything, I am grateful for all the years and opportunities I was given to help build something I all dreamed of. The Knockouts division is and will always be my heart and all the women who are a part of it. Thanks to the incredibly hardworking and passionate TNA talent and crew that I have had the pleasure of working with, this will not end my passion or my love for wrestling, and this is not the end of Gail Kim in the wrestling world. You don't put in 17 years in one company and stop when you are this passionate. I look forward to sharing my journey, and I'm taking some time for myself to and prepare for what's ahead. Looking forward to the future. Thank you. And one last thought. More women in leadership roles, not less.
Yeah, amen to that. Now, I don't know if she had a similar non-compete like Scott Demore. That, so I don't know if she can just up and go sign somewhere else tomorrow. But again, if I am, and I don't want, again, if I'm telling you, I was going to say, I don't want
her immediately.
I don't want to make this a jump ship to AEW right away, but she's somebody that I would pluck immediately.
If I am Tony Khan, I have already reached out. I have already reached out to at least her people and be like, yes.
What can we do? What can we do to get you
1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
According to Lawrence, she doesn't have a no compete.
Hey, well then there you go.
I mean that look, and I don't say that to do that either, but like, I mean, SRS confirmed it. There we go. So for me, yeah, if I'm Tony, I'm reaching out. I'm at least letting her know somehow that we have interest immediately.
Just say, hey, what can we do? What do you want to do?
What can we do to bring you in here and take over and run my women's division?
Yeah, and that's
because the women,
because she's been doing a good job. I watched
Knockouts at one point before NXT started to cook here. The Knockouts probably, I would say, over the last decade plus has probably been the most consistent women's division in all of wrestling.
Yeah,
you can make an argument.
They, for a long time, were always considered one of the best women's divisions in wrestling, and then, of course, everybody jumped ship or things changed and changed over. Yeah, it got ebb and flow. They usually build it back up. But hopefully, whatever she does, we'll be paying attention and we'll be excited about it.
Yeah, I would hope.
In other departure news,
well, I was going to say that's where I was going to swap on over. So we also heard that Saraya.
Yeah, which I saw that late in the day. I was like, oh my gosh.
Saraya announced her departure from AEW. She hadn't been used in a long time, used sparingly here or there. Had a great debut, loud pop at Grand Slam in New York. Yeah. That was a really good debut. She was used a lot early on, and then it was few and far between. I I thought
think there was an injury in there, maybe
there
at
wasn't
one
in
point, and then I know she had with some. I think the split with her boyfriend, and then she took some time away for that. Get her head right, but it just never felt like every time they felt like they were starting something with her, something felt like it was just stopping it. Like what was that? What was that group there? She was with Tony Storm and
I'm not going to remember the name.
The Social Outcasts, or
is that what it was? Yeah,
something in that. Something in
that
that.
Might have been it.
Something in that vein was. It was. I thought that wasn't as bad. They were like the female NWO.
It was her, Tony, and who was there was another.
It was Ruby.
That's right.
It's her and Ruby, and then she just never got going. And then over the last year or so, I think we've seen her.
She was at All In last year. She was at the All Ins. They used, but
it sounded like it was mutual. It sounded like it was good.
And one thing that I did appreciate is she had nothing but glowing things to say about AEW. She said she loved her time there. It felt like family. She praised the women in the locker room that she worked with. She praised Tony. She said Tony was great. And that was kind of nice to hear, because I feel like now, no matter where they leave, I feel like we don't hear enough of that. So oh no, it's always, I feel like there's more negative than positive. So it was really nice to read and hear that she had nothing but glowing things to say. And she was also asked if she would return to AEW, which she said she absolutely would. And she was asked if she would ever think about going back to WWE. And she said she would as well. And she would love to bring back the Paige character if she did so. So I thought that was kind of a
Would you want to see Paige back in WWE?
I mean, I don't think they need her. They need her.
I'll say this.
It would be cool. I liked Paige when she was there.
Well, we also don't. It's crazy to think that Saraya / Paige, she's been doing this since early 2000s.
Yeah, she's been wrestling since she was a literal child.
She's been around, and she's been on WWE TV for a good amount of time. She's a veteran of the game. She might be thinking let me see what my options are after my AEW contract. AEW gave me a shot. Kind of revival, because they weren't really using her in WWE when she left either, and then she was out for a little
she couldn't, right? Was it?
Yeah, she couldn't wrestle because she had the neck thing, and they weren't going to clear her. Maybe they can clear her now. So yeah, maybe she's like, I'll just see what I can. Maybe I'll do some things that I haven't got to do yet, and we'll go from there. So good for her. I'm excited if she wants to come back to WWE. I'm excited whatever she wants to do, but at least she went out. And it seems like it was an amicable thing where it's like my contract came up and I'm just not going to re-sign one. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing.
No.
And that's not a slight on AEW, you internet dweebs. That is just somebody going, you know what? I'm a free agent. Let's see what's out there. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So we'll have to see what she does. Look at if they want to bring her back for a Legends deal of some sorts.
Her versus Nikki Bella.
I mean,
what's Nikki Bella doing since she returned?
That's my thing. I thought Nikki Bella was going to come back and do something. I was under the impression that was what was going to be the thing there.
Look at that breaking bash. Right, say we're bashing AEW.
What are you talking about?
No. Hey, shoot, baby.
No. That's not what we're doing now.
I'm not bashing AEW. They're doing some really fun things.
Yeah, that's not what we're doing.
Maybe Ryan Sullivan shouldn't be such an AEW shill. We're just over here on Between Two Beards spitting facts. You're out there just, as the kids say, D-riding.
Oh, wow.
Calm down, Sullivan.
Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ryan, if you would like to rebuttal, you just let me know, and I can arrange it. You just let me know, Ryan. Hit me up in the DMs, and I can arrange it if you would like to rebuttal.
Yeah, you company shill. Yeah.
Everybody know that picture on the interwebs of the it's like a black and white stick figure drawing, but it's the guy, he's wearing a belly shirt with the WWF logo, and he's got the flag.
Yep.
That's you. That's you.
Right. Yeah, listen, okay, listen, an alternative, more like a boring product.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, Laura's saying that I'm back in the Fed. Yeah, man, they've done it. You know what I'm saying? They've got all the talent. AEW's just washed, man. I see it all the time. My the comment sections, y'all calm down. It's wrestling, bro.
It's true.
And yes, AEW is an alternative to WWE in the sense that it's a different show to watch, and I watch both. So
We enjoy both here.
We do.
We enjoy.
Where's Jack Perry? Oh, I don't know. Probably in his mansion.
Does he have a mansion?
No, I don't know.
He could. His
A
dad
mansion in Wisconsin, like he's T-Pain, baby.
What?
Oh.
I don't even know what that means.
Wow.
Didn't he fall in love with a stripper?
T-Pain or Jack Perry?
T-Pain. You just said T-Pain. Did you not? Was there not a T-Pain reference?
Yes, he's in love with a stripper.
And he fell in love with a stripper.
Nothing
wrong with that, by the way.
He fell in love with a stripper, and he was going to put her up in a mansion in Wisconsin.
Fair enough. I
feel you say he thought he lived in that bus. In this economy, I wouldn't be upset.
I mean, look, it might be the most fiscally responsible thing you could do, to be honest.
Yeah,
damn joke out there. All right, what happened today? What happened in wrestling? I don't even know, dude. I will say
we can talk about Raw if you want.
Yeah. I thought Raw as a whole, mid. Maybe that's strong. I felt like Raw was. I felt like. No, I'm gonna stick to it. I felt like Raw was a significant step back from like the previous.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't back the Fed. Don't be a shill.
Yeah.
They are 1,000% leaning on the fact that they're overseas right now. Most people are going bonkers. It was a fine show, but it was not last week. It was not this grandiose thing. There was some good high points in it, but it definitely felt more of a chore is a strong word, but it felt like it was more of a slog to get through than last week. But again, it wasn't terrible.
No.
We did get El Grande Americano from the Gulf of America's debut match.
Oh man, what a time! What a time!
Listen, I gotta say though, I know that the commentary team. I know Cole knows it's Gable, right?
They all know it's Gable.
But the fact that nobody gets mad that Dragon Lee tried to rip off that mask mid-match a couple times was like, at least play into that gimmick a little bit for me. At least go, that's so disrespectful. Somebody needed to say it, and they didn't say it.
That's fair. That is fair. Dragon Lee
talking about Jeff Jarrett?
I don't know. He comes on all the shows and he talks. I don't know.
Don't get me started.
This is not the show you want to be talking about. That PLUGGO is a Jeff Jarrett hater, David. David. I'm going to assure you, you are the only one that wants to see more Jeff Jarrett.
Philly say, yeah, excuse me, Gable was sick on Monday. Yeah, you're right, my bad.
He had a legitimate doctor's. We are not going to disrespect Chad Gable, all right?
That's true.
He had a doctor's note. You heard Pierce. Pierce said it was legit.
Yeah, he goes, you should have the look on his face though when he goes, this is legit, was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's perfect. He's like, this is legit. Like, he's like, how the fuck is this legit? Like, that's what he was thinking. Like, are you fucking shitting me that this guy is legit? But we saw the debut of Grande Americano. They did a little vignette for him, which don't use AI. WWE, you billion-dollar company, fucking hire real artists to do your stupid videos. And it was funny. I actually enjoyed it. I'm not going to get into the certain side of it. I know Gulf of America. I get it. It's stupid. All right. But I took it as they were just trying to be silly. They were just trying to be silly, and it made me chuckle. That's all. And I am someone that is vehemently against the people that actually want something like that to happen. I thought it wasn't any. That's just how I took it. If you took it another way, you are allowed to do that. It is your given right. I'm not going to argue you. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny.
I took it in the comedy sense too. I didn't read anything into it politically because if you think about the character that they've created there, that would absolutely 100% be something he would be behind.
Yes. And I thought it was funny, like the way that the video looked like those old pictures you see from like literally like the 1910s and 20s and 30s and 40s. Like, so I thought they did it well. The 6 fingers that Aphelia's pointing out. Yeah. They clearly used AI for a lot of that. Which, like when he was touching the ball of the orb, he had.
I didn't.
So like, you're a billion-dollar company, hire real people.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid. But either way,
saving that money, dude.
Him and Dragon Lee, that match slapped though.
Yeah.
That match was good.
So did we see a world title run in Americano's future?
No,
He's undefeated right now.
No, we don't. Well, eventually, I think we'll find out who that is, and then we'll kind of go from there. But as of right now, there is no proof that it is Chad Gable.
Maybe people in the chat want to chime in, but what is with the ground swelling? Like, if it's not Chad Gable, it's Ray Phoenix. Like, why in any world would that make sense?
It wouldn't.
Even me, who has shown over the course of time that I am all about chaos and just craziness in wrestling, that one I just can't get behind. I'm just like, I wouldn't hate it. Why would we do that to Ray Phoenix?
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it if it was Ray Phoenix was the guy that Chad Gable was trying to learn the dark arts so he could beat Penta with. That'd be cool.
Okay,
they're not going to do that. He's going to be on SmackDown and be a solo star over there. But I'd be cool if we found out that the guy he learned the dark arts of Lucha Libre from to try to beat Penta was Ray Phoenix. I think that would be fun.
But he's right. Why does it have to be anybody?
It could literally be anybody. We don't know.
It could be. Yeah, it doesn't. It could be a brand new. That's fine.
Don't know.
Have a little fun in your wrestling, guys. Relax.
Yeah, it's okay to laugh sometimes. Not everything's so serious. It is
okay to laugh. You gotta have comedy wrestling. It can't all be emotional cheer-jerkers because you would just burn out so fast.
I will say one thing that I actually did enjoy from Monday night. I've been asking for a few weeks for it now, and I thought that they did a good job of making me care about Jey Uso and Gunther more on Monday. I thought having Jimmy involved as the tag team partner, that's what I wanted. I know people were throwing other names out there, but I was like, I said it here last week. I said, Jimmy. It should be Jimmy. Yes.
The only thing I didn't love about it, they didn't give it he just kind of walked right behind him. I was like, hey, give us a little bit of a
So, it was good to see the Usos reunite like that. The match itself with A-Town Down Under was what you would expect from it, but it was cool to see the Usos back at it. They get the victory. They do the thing after the match with Gunther where Jay, so they've turned in. Okay. So here's where I want to dive in with Jay, because I've been hard on this story because I just think it's been the same thing for a month and a half. And I thought that this week they actually did some new stuff, which is why I appreciated it. So obviously last week he went to do the dive and he hit the rope and obviously it didn't go well. He's a wrestler with the level of things that they all do. I'm surprised things like that don't happen more. I'm not one of those people that's going to get on anybody because do you think I could go fucking do that?
Maybe. If you put your mind, if
I'm
you
telling
put
you
your
right
mind
now,
to it, you can do anything you want, Jay.
Telling you right now. I'm shorter than Rey Mysterio, bro. I can't be doing that shit. I can't be doing that shit.
You could do the
middle rope.
The middle rope, maybe the bottom.
Maybe through the bottom and the middle. Maybe on a good day. I'm a wide fella. I don't know if I can make it clean through there either.
I have faith in you.
It just wouldn't go.
We'll oil you up. We'll oil you up. You'll slide right through.
Just listen. It's fine. So that happened last week, right? Obviously, a lot of buzz on the internet. Everyone ragging on Jay. Blah 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 blah. So this week, Gunther does the thing again. He shows up after the match. He takes Jimmy out, and now he's going after Jay again. Jay gets the one up, and he hits Gunther with a couple back-to-back super kicks, and he's setting him up for a spear, and Jay slipped. He slipped.
Yeah.
So he couldn't hit the spear, and then Gunther ended up kind of being able to get out of it. Yeah, and pummeling him in a bit. Yeah. So they've worked in now. So they've worked now. What they've done is they worked the mess up from last week into the story now that Jay is doubting himself so much that he's like physically, he's got the yips.
Yeah. Well,
that's how they're playing it off, that he's got the yips.
Well, I took it more as, the yips is a good way to look at it, but I was taking it more as like the way what Jay was talking, or Jimmy was talking to him, like, you're Jay fucking Uso. You are one of the most calm, cool, collective characters in wrestling, and you're letting this get to you. to the point where you're out there botching moves you've done for 15 years. You're slipping. You need some tread on them shoes. Like, he's so calm, cool, collective, and because we've talked about it as a fan base for Jay's got to win the big one. We can't keep having big main event Jey Uso out there losing these matches, and he's got to, in a character sense, has to know I'm not going to get many opportunities like this, and he's over analyzing what he's doing, and then it's causing him to just slip. Now, some people aren't a fan of them, incorporating the botches into the storyline, but I think it was well done. I actually was okay. I thought, okay, like that at least is something to go on other than I'm going to underdog, which if you and I was thinking about this the other day. I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to put it out in the ether here.
Oh.
Is Jey Uso really the underdog between him and Gunther in the sense that Jey Uso comes from one of the most storied wrestling families in the world? I mean, Gunther had it harder than he did. Gunther is more of an underdog than Jey Uso.
No, he's not. He's the champ. He's the champ.
He's the champ, but he overcame a lot more to get
maybe in life, but not right now. Jey Uso can't beat him. He can't beat him. Has not beat him.
But he keeps getting opportunity after opportunity.
That's because Jay's fighting. Yeah, but that's because Jey has earned him. He's earned
I was just thinking, I was like, is being the cousins with The Rock and Roman and all this kind of stuff? Are you really? Are you really an underdog, my guy?
In this story, yes, he is. In this story, he is. But that's
not if he keeps. He's an underdog for a reason. If he can't get some shoes,
that's the whole thing.
He needs to get some of that. He needs to get some of them tread safes that those like Crocs with the tread safes that line cooks wear. He needs a pair of those. You don't fall on those. I work service industry for years. You don't slip. You can't.
First of all, no wrestler. The day that I see Croc boots and in a wrestling ring is the day that I might call it.
No, you got to get with the time. You know what I'm talking about, though. You never seen. I know. You've never seen a cook slip in a million years on them things.
I agree.
Jay's out here with it. Listen, man.
Listen,
got to put some tread on them things.
I enjoyed that Jimmy and Jay segment in the stairwell as well. I loved what Jimmy was saying. I love how Jay openly admitted that he was like, I know I can't. And Jimmy, he's like, I can't beat him. And Jimmy was like, I know. He was like, I know you can't. He goes, this whatever I'm looking at right now can't. But, main event Jey Uso can't. I loved all that. And then I loved how Jimmy then went right up to Gunther. And he said, hey, buddy, messing around with my brother next week, you and me. And Gunther was like, all right, cool. I'll gladly beat the crap out of you before I beat the crap. And then Jimmy, that slap. Oh, I think that surprised Gunther. It was so hot. Like Gunther started laughing.
Well, then
right after, because I think
the fact that he just stood there.
I mean, I think that was how the segment was supposed to go.
And just went.
But I think I think that took Gunther by surprise.
He's gonna murder Jimmy Uso next week.
Oh, yeah, and he needs to. He absolutely needs to
murder him.
Yes, and that should happen. And I don't know if there's a way maybe that Jay is like incapacitated or can't get to help Jim. I don't know, but
he's gonna slip coming down to the ring.
Yeah, something like that.
He's gonna botch somewhere. It's coming next week.
Yes, something. But what needs to happen is Gunther. I expect the match with Jimmy and Gunther to be competitive. He's gonna be
in the locker room trying to get out. He can't because he's all oiled up. He's slipping. He can't get the lock. He's gonna get stuck in the dressing room or something crazy like that. And then Tozawa's gonna be out there. He's gonna be trying. I got you, boss. He's gonna be trying to rip the door handle off for him. Then Otis just barrels through it. Then they run out there and save Jimmy.
I don't know. I just know that next week, definitely. Gunther needs to beat the crap.
Murder's gonna happen.
That needs to happen.
Jimmy getting down the stairs without falling down. Listen to accomplishment himself. Yeah. I mean, it's just that it's nice now that there's at least something kind of to the story. They again, and I don't know if there's a better way to do it with WrestleMania being later this year than usual. They had more time to fill. I don't know if that's. I honestly don't know. I don't know if that's helped or hurt the build to Mania. I think it's in a way it kind of hurt it because they're trying to fill the segments. But I like what they did with Jimmy and Jay. I'll take it.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I like the
Get you some tread safes. Most employment places, Jay. Most employment places, I would assume the WWE has a Shoes for Crews program. And they've got some
for crews.
Shoes for Crews. You go, they give you a little book, and there's a ton of different options.
Yep.
There's activewear, there's obviously servers and hosts and things, but they'll even deduct it from your paycheck and give you a certain like voucher towards, like they'll give you like $100 towards it, then you pay the difference out of your paycheck. So it's no cost to you, Jimmy. You just go to Shoes for Crews, you lock it in, you get them treads right, and you won't be slipping at WrestleMania. You don't have to listen, and that's the thing, Jay. Let's not be fashionable. Let's not be flashy at Mania. Let's not go with the hot, cool Jordans or the Dior Jordans or whatever. Just go with something that's reliable that you know is going to get the job done so that you can beat Gunther and you can become champion. I'm here for you. I will send you the link, Jay. I'll do it.
Are you done?
I am worried about this man's footwear, bro. You're telling me he's an underdog. I'm worried about him slipping.
Yeah, he might. But he's going to have to overcome
the fact that you are not as passionate about his footwear.
I don't want him wearing Crocs.
Says that I think you want him. He doesn't have to. There's more than Crocs in the. I was just making a point that those don't. Nobody falls in them bad boys.
Yeah,
ever.
But they probably don't offer great support for what he needs.
But he could get some laces. He could get some nice boots. I got some really nice tread safe boots that I rock for my job that go up, give me good ankle support.
Yeah,
and I don't.
Would you be able to wrestle in them?
I'm not Jey Uso, but I'm saying they have options.
I'm asking you.
They have.
Would you be able to wrestle?
In my boots, no. But the other options that Shoes for Crews offer, they offer more of a tennis shoe style. They offer fashionable styles. It's not just the Crocs and the ugly shoes anymore. They've evolved, and I'm asking Jey Uso to continue his evolution to stardom by just one night, lock down the footwear, no botches, no slips, and you get it done. Obviously, you're sitting over there telling me that you want Gunther to retain.
I do.
Well, see, again, that's what
I wanted Gunther to retain before Jay started,
slipping and sliding.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Jay should be who he is, and who he is flashy.
So and that's fine. Again, be flat. But listen, if you want to be flashy and it ends up costing you the match, don't say I didn't tell you. You can be flashy and safe with the right shoes, with the right combination. Right. You're telling me you can't slap some nice tread on the bottom of them Jays? You probably could.
Maybe. I don't know. What if the texture with the mat, it doesn't go well? What if he starts getting stuck?
Well, but clearly it's not going well now with what he's working. So we need to figure this out.
First of all, we don't have to do shit.
We need to help our guy out.
No, we don't.
I'm here to help.
Is he giving you a cut of his WrestleMania paycheck?
He might if he wins after he sees this.
No, he won't.
He might be like, you know what?
He won't.
Good looking out, Pluggo. I appreciate you.
I doubt it.
Well, hey, listen, when I'm sitting there rolling in Jey Uso money, don't come at me sideways because I shared.
All right, it's fair. So it all doesn't matter because after WrestleMania, wrestling's going to be ruined anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wrestling's going to be ruined anyway.
That guy.
As of WrestleMania, because John Cena is going to ruin wrestling. That's what he said. He opened the show again.
Can I tell you something real quick? Shoot, I had a work visit yesterday with my boss, and he's not a wrestling fan, but he knows what I do. Mm-hmm. So he asks me questions. But the partner that he brought with him to visit, she is a wrestling fan. So during my professional store setup, I was like, these are the numbers, and this is what I'm proud of, and this is what we're doing, and yada yada yada. And then one of my proud ofs was I go, and I'm proud that I did not cry when John Cena broke up with me. And my boss looked at me like, what the f are you talking about? Yeah. And the lady that he brought with him went, I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't cry either. And I was like, all right.
There you go.
So yeah.
There you go.
Wrestling is everything.
John Cena opens the show again. He gets out there. The crowd, relentless. F you, Cena chants. Shut the F up chants to Cena.
Rightfully so. F that guy.
Cena is ragging on the fans. He doubles down on that kid from last week. Calls him pathetic. Says I made a meme out of that loser kid from last week. What a bum that kid was. What?
Or then they fired Pluggo.
Yeah.
My annual review is tomorrow, actually.
Gonna get marked down.
Oh shoot, I might get canned because of that.
Unbelievable. Cena continues to call the fans horrible people. He says that we're all gonna pay for making him go through the abuse that he's had to go through. And he says that he will make the fans pay by retiring with the WWE Championship and taking it home with him. And then he goes into a story, Pluggo.
He's the last real champion.
He goes into a story. Well, he goes in and he's like, yeah, he goes, I'm going to win. I'm going to break the record. Ric Flair's name is going to go bye-bye. John, that's not a heel thing. Like,
I was going to say, if anything, we were all like, yeah, dude.
We're like, we actually want that to happen. That's the one thing we want to happen out of this.
The rest of this, you can shut up. But that, yeah.
So, but he says, so he goes, 20 years ago, when I won the world title, I introduced something, the spinner belt. And he goes, and you guys hated it. He goes, Google spinner belt and comments or whatever, and you will see you guys hated it. You said, you said that was a toy, and the championships shouldn't look like toys. They should be
championships. We spoke very
championships.
highly of the spinner belt on the Mark Order podcast. We talked about favorite belts, and I think Paul picked spinner belt like third.
First of all, kicking out pod, not Mark Order. Get it together.
Kicking out part. Sorry,
Unbelievable.
I got Sullivan on the mind. I got Sullivan on the mind. He's been talking shit.
You're not even sure what shows you're on anymore.
Shout out to the Mark Order pod and shout out to the Kicking Out podcast.
I will be on the Kicking Out podcast this Sunday evening.
They're both AEW centric podcasts, and they're both awesome. So excuse me for confusing awesome with awesome.
You know, it's okay. That's what I'm here for. We're a team. I lifted you up out of it, and now we're out of it. Yeah. But yes, so Pluggo was on with the Kicking Out podcast this past Sunday. I will be on with the Kicking Out podcast this Sunday. And then next week, both of us will be on giving our official picks for AEW Dynasty. And I once again will win. Hopefully they don't get some crazy new rule to get somebody to tie me.
I told Shep I'll drive down there myself and just take the damn thing.
The belt.
Yeah.
It's coming home. It's coming home to the bids. But anyway. So Cena leans in. He goes, 20 years ago, I did the spinner belt. You guys hated it. You guys hated it. And he goes, and that is when I knew. That is when I knew. 20 years ago, he was holding on to this, Pluggo. That's when he knew that he would eventually be able to do what he's doing now against the WWE Universe, and he knew that they were fickle.
No, he didn't.
That's what he said.
Shut up, John.
That's what he said.
You didn't know that.
So then Cody Rhodes comes out again.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, they're singing that. They're singing that. Yep. And he says that he's going to make sure that John Cena retires empty-handed, and that he's going to leave WrestleMania that way as well. Mm-hmm. He admitted that he's been underestimating John, and that this might be his most dangerous version of him we've ever seen. And that was basically it. Second week in a row, though, Cody comes out to confront John Cena. And John Cena, they looked like this time they were going to square up and brawl, but Cena did the bad guy. Like,
yeah.
Cena still hasn't talked to Cody at all.
Yeah, there's a reason.
I know.
Because he cooks motherfuckers on the mic, and they don't want John.
I don't think it's that.
They don't want John Cena. Every time he came back, Cody can hold his own, but I don't think they even want the idea of John getting the upper hand on the mic. I just don't. I don't think he wants it either. So, I think it's all part of an elaborate, like, let's not directly destroy Cody Rhodes because he is the golden boy. He is our champion. He is the next John Cena in the sense of all, like, because John Cena, every time he's came back in the last 10 years, has crushed some dude on the mic. Because
I think that's what they need to do this Monday, though. Because they already advertised. Because you can't for 3 weeks in a row do the same shit.
I mean, John Cena is not out there for us, by the way. He's going to do the same shit regardless.
No.
You're telling me that John Cena all of a sudden's going to go, we can't keep doing the same song and dance every week. He don't care. He don't care.
No. You can't.
You can't eviscerate Cody Rhodes either, though.
No, but Cena, he hasn't even talked about The Rock. He hasn't talked about any of it. He's gone out there and he's been talking to us, which is fine. It's working. I like it.
He doesn't have to explain himself to us because he's John Cena.
And that's fine. But when Cody comes out for a third week in a row, because they've already announced we're getting a face-to-face with these two next week, John Cena needs to verbally put Cody in his place. I need puzzled-looking Cody looking down at the title or looking at the camera or looking down. That's what I need. I need John Cena to be eviscerate Cody. Make Cody, because here's the thing. You just said it. Cody's the golden boy. Cody is John Cena, right? So John Cena doesn't have to eviscerate who Cody is as a man, but he can go into it and he can be like, I know who you are right now because you are me. You're me. I was you. And like he can go in that way and cut a big promo and have Cody questioning shit.
Well, you've ruined it because you brought it into the ether. Now John Cena's not going to do it because it's something the fans want. Way to go.
I'm not saying the fans want it. I want it. I don't care what those
You're a fan.
Want.
You're a fan.
I don't care what those
You can't. I have to imagine you're not the only man because Fernando said Cena needs to explain some things too. Shout out. What's up, Fernando? Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, no,
friend.
listen. There are people who are also smart like me who might think the same way I do, but I don't care what these wrestling fans want. I care about what I want.
Well, he ain't going to give you what you want.
He's going to give me what I want. He's from where I'm from. He's going to give me what I want, John.
I actually am okay with it. Like if he never if he didn't explain it up until like to the very end, like I'm okay with that.
Well, here's my thing, right? So there's
because they did, they took we still don't know what note The Rock gave Cody. They haven't explained a lot of stuff. This one though, I'm okay with John just being like, because that's what we want. We want that John Cena to kind of come out and go to toe to toe on the mic with Cody in the sense of like, and then it's like, oh yeah, I don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to like absolutely do the bare minimum to not give any of us any satisfaction whatsoever. He's only there to win 17 and go home,
which is fun. But again, he's not even. I don't know.
So why give us the fans the satisfaction of him going after Cody and explaining it? He doesn't have to explain shit in John Cena's character. He doesn't have to explain shit
for entertainment purposes. That's why
you're not entertained right now.
I am, but it was 2 weeks in a row the same thing.
I agree, but I'm just saying this is.
And I don't think we need it for a third. Think we need it for a third.
Maybe John Cena no shows the face-to-face. That'd be something.
Well, here's the thing. So they're in London next week. And then the following Raw will be back in the States, and we'll have 2 Raws in the States before Mania. I expect John not to be at one. I expect John to not be at that first one back in the States, and then he'll be at the go-home show. That would be my expectation.
Yeah.
Is that he's not at every single one. I would love for him to be at every single one, but I would have to think he's taking a week off at some point. Maybe. Who knows? But my last thing that I'll ask about this before we kind of move on to the last thing about Raw, because I do want to talk about some AEW. Do you think they get physical before WrestleMania, John Cena and Cody? Because I think
yes, but I think it's Cody that initiates it.
Okay.
As weird as that sounds.
I would have no problem if they didn't, though.
Yeah, I would also have no problem if they did it. And I think that's probably where they go. But I think and again, you said you want more, and I think I think that the reason John's doing this is he's not giving Cody enough. Cody's going to start losing his mind and being like, John, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, you're not giving me answers as to why you're doing this, why you've turned into this guy, blah, blah, blah. And then he's going to snap on John, not in a heel way. I think he's just going to beat his ass. And then there might be like some pull apart shit, the go home show to Mania type deal. Like, it's coming to a head, But at the end of the day, I don't know. They might not, but they shouldn't.
Yeah.
They definitely shouldn't, but they might. You never know. It's wrestling. Fight.
And then the last thing that happened on Raw, the main event, so it seems like we're getting a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title between Braun Breaker, Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. We saw Penta and Braun Breaker for the IC title. Dom got involved to try to
lure Penta to the dark side, and he
correct.
Miserably.
And it caused a DQ, and then Finn showed up. They were beating down Braun Breaker with a chair. Dom gave the chair to Penta, like, hey, you hit him too, join us. And Penta threw the chair at Dom and gave him a super kick through the chair, which was pretty dope.
Judgment Day Penta, though, would be kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
I know they wouldn't do it because obviously there's no reason to, but it would be kind of a vibe.
Yeah. And then Judgment Day took out the numbers game. They took out Penta, and the show actually ended with Judgment Day standing tall. And that's how Raw went off the air. So how do you feel about a fatal 4-way with Braun, Penta, Dom, and Finn at Mania? I feel like one of the Judgment Day boys are walking away with that title.
It's got to be Dom.
If
it ain't Dom, then I don't want it.
That's kind of
if it ain't Dom from the Judgment Day side, I don't want it. Not that I don't love Finn, but
I think Dom sneaking away with that thing would be fucking amazing. Oh, it'd be amazing
because Dom has done more than his share of bending over backwards for Finn lately, and like almost like too much, and it's like you're trying to get that false sense of security, and they're going to swoop in. Do I love this idea of this 4-way? I like the match itself. It feels like they're throwing a lot of stuff into this because they're trying to get more people on the card, which is fine, but it does feel kind of like Braun needs like something proper. This like I wanted it to be Penta Braun. Just give me that. I would have been fine. You throw the Judgment Day are cool.
Yeah.
I would have been more than happy with Penta and Braun as a one-on-one situation. But yeah, it's got to be Dom, dude. If you're going to do it, you got to.
I can't. Well, I mean, Penta.
And
Penta
here's the thing.
He's over as hell.
He could win, but you put him in a fatal 4-way, he could lose. Here's what my thing, like, give me the, not in the same sense, the Zack Ryder treatment. He wins the big one at Mania, next night loses it. Like, Dom does not need to hold that Intercontinental Championship for a year. Just give me that.
A fatal 4-way is a nice, easy way for him to lose.
Yeah,
he can just move up to the main.
He sneaks out a win. Everybody's pissed. They boo him. He shows up on Raw the next night. Penta beats that ass, and he's the IC champ. I'm okay with that. That's what I would be all right with.
Yeah,
give me that.
Yeah. But I like it. I like it.
Fernando say too many multiple. It's not even the sense that it's too many multiple person matches at Mania. It's just that it's felt like they had this extra time to do some extra building towards it, and they've kind of thrown a few together in a way. And it's like, just if you want to go fatal 4-way and it makes sense, don't throw it together so quick. Because like even the Rhea, Io, Bianca stuff is cool, and I like the three of them, but I feel like they're not quite sure what they want to do there. So they kind of like Rhea's just in the Pierce, by the way, that dude is going to lose his mind soon.
He's been losing his mind for a year.
But I mean, it's coming, and it's going to come like
that's where I was going to go next. I was just going to ask you.
I
was just going to ask you in general, how are you feeling about the build for the triple threat match with Io, Bianca, and Rhea?
I don't hate it. I just need. We know where it's going, 100%. Bianca's going to be the special guest referee next week for Rhea's and Ia's match. Basically, Pierce kind of talked out of both sides of his mouth here. He's like, Rhea, you can't just strong arm your way into this match, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a match next week with the champ. And
he did say that she was owed a rematch for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So that's been part of the story is, hey, I've been trying to lock down a rematch with Rhea here, but she's doing this shit.
Yeah, well, then you got to say, like, listen, it's on. And so, so we're going to get Io versus Rhea. The winner gets Bianca at Mania. Bianca's the special guest referee. She didn't seem too excited about the. But
I don't know how to referee.
How about this? How about I ask you this? If you're Bianca Belair you have the fate of your WrestleMania match in your hands, who do you want to win? Would you rather face Io or Rhea?
If I'm Bianca,
if you're Bianca,
I'd rather face Io.
Okay. Now,
it's gonna be a hard opponent no matter who you face, but Rhea has a size advantage over me. Io does not.
And
I'm picking Io.
Do you call it down the middle then?
I don't think Bianca will, but I'm a man of honor, so I would, because I'm a man of honor.
Okay.
However, I think something will happen between Bianca and Rhea during this, and I think Bianca will cost Rhea, whether on purpose or not, or they make it look like it was an accident, but it really was on purpose.
Do we see some crazy scenario where Io loses the title to Rhea?
I don't think so.
We bounce it that way because then we'd be back in the same spot that we were to begin with.
As this goes on, and we have to read a super chat here in a second, but as this goes on, if you had to ask me right now who I'm picking, I think I'm still picking Bianca to leave WrestleMania as the champ. But as this goes on, I'm leaning more towards Io as we go. The way they're booking it. I feel like Io winning,
but that's what
is the right thing to do.
You could have, as crazy as this sounds, because as crazy as this particular story has been, you could have Io lose on Monday and still walk out at Mania as shit, because that three-way, that match is not ending where they're not going to be in a triple threat at Mania. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but they could.
I do feel like if Io lost, though, like I would then see no reason, unless it's something that happens.
It's going to be a DQ finish, 100%.
Yeah, something like that.
Nobody's pinning anybody, 100%.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. We have a super chat, Grainmaker podcast.
You got to read
sleepy.
You got to read it right.
Oh, well, then you read it then.
Man, you sleepy. Everyone be saying that at the bar. Hey, sleepy, look like the Mexican Wolverine and shit.
Yeah. There's no T there.
Shit.
That's
from 22 Jump Street.
Yeah. I didn't see the sequel. That's why
my name's Jeff. Tell him about the story, man. You some gruesome details. How was Swiper? Swiper's not a real name, man. You're making this shit up.
Oh man.
And then
I'm glad we went back to the
drug lord. The drug lord goes, "Shut up! Look at the product. These new kids always be talking all the time." Oh yeah, just like I thought. Exotic animals. Yeah, I love that.
Grainmaker, I have not seen the sequel. I only saw the original, which I very much enjoyed.
The sequel is awesome.
Is it? Yeah, I have not.
Yeah, Bianca and Rhea too preoccupied with each other. That is a nice touch to this, and that's why I think Io. We think
that's why. Yes,
but they're thinking Io's an afterthought, but Io is just as good as the two of them. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm interested Monday. They have an opportunity to do some more fun things with it. But ultimately, we're getting the triple threat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I almost kind of wanted to be that Io. She kind of leaned into it this week where she said, I don't care who I fight. I'll fight both of them. But I almost, because Pierce does not want this to be a triple threat match. Pierce is like, nope, not happening. But I almost kind of wish there became a scenario where Io went to Pierce and was like, give me both of them. Like I want Io to be the reason it becomes a triple threat match. Like she's like, I don't give a shit. Give me both of them. And then I feel like if that's what they do, Io should win. I think Io should win.
I think she will do that Monday because, like I said, I think there's going to be Bianca's going to toss this thing, or there's going to be a fight between them, and a brawl is going to break out, and Io's just going to go. Io's going to do the thing where she's going to go. I'll prove myself to both of them because they're not paying attention to me, and I'll show them what Io's guy is all about, and I'm cool with that. Like I'm cool. I'm cool with all this. I know the story's been a little bit clunky with like explaining.
Are you cool with the Rhea part and how they're making Rhea look here?
I'm going to say it hasn't made sense. And I'll say why. Because when she lost that title, that promo she cut in the back with Kathy Kelly in the interview was like a whole nother side of Rhea. Like it was a layer that we hadn't seen where she's kind of like doubting herself. And she's like, I try to make friends and it doesn't work out. And I thought maybe we were going to see a little bit more. It's just, but she's kind of automatically like the next week she's like, I'm Rhea fucking Ripley, like I'm taking whatever I want, right? Yeah. And it was like she just kind of bullied her way back into this situation, and it hasn't been. It's Rhea Ripley, like it's badass. Like don't get me wrong, it's the Rhea that we've all. I just wanted to see how they were going to navigate something a little different. And she just went, I'm going to bully my way into this ship. So if anything, she's been more of the heel than anybody.
Yes. But the crowd booed Bianca on Monday.
Well, Bianca's been heel tendencies for sure. She's been dabbling in it. And I could see her flipping the switch and being like, but I've also been a proponent of like, I don't need like with Rhea and Bianca, for instance, if they were to ever go traditional one-on-one, I don't need a traditional babyface heel dynamic. I just need two badass people kicking, like not backing down from one another, just fighting it out. Like Hangman and Adam Page, like Hangman and MJF, for instance, like just two badass dudes that were just like, I just want to fight you. Give me that with Rhea and Bianca. So I don't know. There's still 4 weeks to go. I'm still intrigued on how it goes, but it just feels like we've fallen back into the same like, Rhea Ripley's just going to out-muscle everybody thing. But that should be the thing that is her detriment. That's like, well, it didn't work this time. I tried it again. It didn't work. I need to refigure out who I am. And we could do some fun things with Rhea Ripley, man. She's awesome. They're all awesome. All three of them are awesome. Like this is we're gonna win here at WrestleMania as fans. Like who cares who comes out on top because the match is gonna slap.
Oh, easily has potential to be the best match of the weekend. Easily with those three. Yeah, that was about it for Raw. There were a few other things that happened, but like, nothing too much. CM Punk cut a promo, but it was a promo promoting. It was a promo of him promoting something he was doing on SmackDown. Basically, they gave CM Punk the Seth Rollins promo this week, but they let Punk kind of, Seth Rollins went out there last week and said, hey, I'm going to be on SmackDown this Friday. And everyone in Brussels was like, boo, the fuck do we care? And so they had CM Punk go out there and basically say the same thing. Hey, guys, on Friday on SmackDown, we're doing a contract signing. And the crowd started booing. But then CM Punk was like, oh, you're booing? Why? Because it's not happening here? And the crowd's like, yeah. And then they had Punk go, yeah, I know. I wanted it to happen here. But Seth and Roman were, And like, so they had Punk.
They're.
But it was one of those promos. It was a nothing promo.
There's some legwork that these three need to do, but
I was very underwhelmed about that segment to end SmackDown with the three of them last week.
I actually didn't even see it. I got to be honest. I don't know what happened, but I didn't even see it. So if you were underwhelmed, then I didn't miss much.
Yeah, I was expecting more.
Well, I think that again, this is another one. This is a match that's going to rule. It's going to be great. I think there's going to be a lot of story still. There's a lot of stories still be told because again, it's one of those things where we still got to piece together like what's the favor. Why is Heyman playing both sides? Why is Seth still absolutely obsessed with this? Like there's still some, and I think they'll get there. And I think the contract signing, hopefully. I actually would be cool if this contract signing didn't end in any kind of physicality. It won't. It's a contract signing. But if they just like talked it out with the three of them for like 20 minutes and just went, I'd be cool with that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, man.
Alabama sets the record for threes in an NCAA tournament game with 22, and the game is far from over, according to an ESPN alert I just got. In a college basketball,
BYU hanging tough.
They must be. Speaking of which, we will update the standings at the end of the weekend. We're in the Sweet 16. The Elite 8 will be throughout the weekend. We'll have the Final Four. We'll know who is going to hopefully come home with the prize if you signed up for our tournament pool.
Heck yeah, man. The BYU. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. They're winning 100-81.
Oh, is it over?
They have 100 points? That's very rare in college.
22 threes, man.
Yeah, but 100 points is a lot of college teams do not score 100.
That's true.
That's very rare. Damn, 100 points. Still 6 minutes left.
The Merkin dudes.
Wow.
Dropping trays.
Good Lord. All right. Anyway, I digress. You know what? Can I say something?
I mean, it's your show, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can't speak. You sit there for
That's
the next
fine.
20
You
minutes.
can
Don't
dictate
say
where
it.
we go. Sometimes you have questions. Sometimes you're like, yeah, let me ask you this.
Sometimes I do.
Why did it take 5.5 months for AEW to do something that I'm interested in with the Death Riders? Because now I'm kind of interested in the Death Rider stuff because I thought the last couple weeks have been like.
Do you want my honest opinion, or do you want?
Is it because it's with Swerve?
It's because
Swerve's cool.
It's Swerve, and Swerve's cool. And no disrespect to Adam Copeland, but he's not. He's not the guy. You're not that guy, pal.
Damn.
You just it because did anybody actually think that was going to happen? Come on. I like Cope, but that wasn't the spot for him to try to take down the Swerve. He's not a traditional day one AEW guy. Yeah, he came from the NXT WWE, but he is like the heart and soul of like AEW, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's behind him and everybody is anti these Death Riders. And that promo that those two had yesterday was like toe for toe, Matt for Matt. Swerve didn't get back down, didn't give two shits. Like Mox is invested because even Moxley knows because he said it. He's like, I know what you're capable of. I know the guy you are. I've seen the matches, but can you keep it going? Mm-hmm. Can you get to this level? You could do some death matches. And then Swerve's like, yeah, I do those death matches and I win those things. Like it was a really well done segment between the two of them, which I don't know if Swerve has any friends, but find some friends quick because Mox has friends. He's got Willow, but he needs a couple people to offset the rest of the Death Riders.
Yeah, I thought that was a very good segment last night between Swerve and Mox. I very much enjoyed it. I loved what Mox said. What was the line that he said? I'm looking at my notes. He said something like, "My industry has been taken over by billionaires and YouTube kids," or something like that. He said something along those lines, and he goes, "But when I look at you, you give me hope."
And it makes you want to keep going.
And it makes me want to keep going. It makes me think that the things in my body that I've sacrificed over these times is worth it.
Yeah.
And I love that line. I love that line from him. And you're probably right. It probably is because Swerve is just so cool and so good.
And he's and Cope is Cope. He's cool. He's a nostalgic act in the sense that, like, we all remember Edge and Rated R Superstar. It just wasn't like if he would have won, we would have just been like, how many people would have been like, another WWE guy wins it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just weren't jiving with it yet. And now we're like, it's fucking Swerve. Now Fernando says he should win. And you've said he should win. And I still maintain that they aren't going to let Swerve win at Dynasty because they want us so mad. They want to piss us off to the point where when that moment happens, we're going to, I know, right? And I hate it because I want it to be Swerve, but I just don't know if that's going to
happen. Here's my thing. I think it should be Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
I would love Swerve to be the guy that, like, he Swerve's the Dynasty guy. Oh, he's won the title 2 years in a row at Dynasty. Like, that's his. You know how, like, Full Gear was like Hangman's pay-per-view for a little bit? Like,
yeah, for sure.
I would love Swerve to be that guy with Dynasty.
I think I
get nervous that they're going to do it again.
I say that with this, again. Like, if it's anybody, I want it to be Swerve and I want it to be there. But if they're going to pull that trigger and wait till All Out or All In or whatever, All In Texas, and just needle us one more time, because this would be the guy to do it with, because you're just like, this was our guy, right? Like, we're all invested in Swerve.
Yeah.
But I say that and all the stuff I said about Cope, I really enjoyed the Dax stuff.
Which we'll talk about that next. But I do.
I would hate that, Drew.
All right, time out. Hold on. We can continue to talk about this because we do have questions. I am looking forward to the mixed tag match as well next week. Ophelia. I'm very much looking forward to
What
that.
mixed tag match?
They announced we're getting Mox and Marina Shafir versus Swerve and Willow.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So that should be a lot of fun because obviously that segment ended with Marina Shafir running down there with a crowbar. She was going to attack Swerve, but Willow showed up with a pipe and was like, "Nuh-uh,
not today,
nuh-uh."
not today.
And then they couldn't be separated to end that segment. Like Moxley had to even like get in the middle of it and separate.
That was cool.
And Moxley was kind of leaned in and was like, "Hey, hey." But I like
that Marina Shafir is like uncontrollable, but she's also very like. But Willow's just pissing her off.
Yeah. I liked it. All right, so we have basically Fernando.
JPJ getting his co-host mixed up.
That's because I called Ophelia. I referenced Drew. At this point, who aren't I a co-host with?
I was gonna say you got wait. I mean, I keep it pretty tight. My co-host game is pretty tight. If I get you and Blair mixed up, he has far less beard than you do.
So Fernando and Drew asked about the same individual here. We just referenced him, but Fernando says, "What about Hangman?" And then Drew, right below him, same time, like basically simultaneously said, "What if Hangman actually helps Swerve win at Dynasty?" Because we did see them cross paths on Dynamite, and it was the first time that we like had actually like they've talked to each other, like you know. We saw that happen last night too, and then Nana kind of got in there and was like, focus on the title, focus on Dynasty. But we saw them cross paths, and they still clearly weren't,
Would Hangman's desire to get the title off of Mox outweigh his hatred for Swerve? I don't know why it would. And I also don't ever want to see those two be friends ever. I love that they hate each other. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so well done.
Yeah. But I do think Hangman.
I mean, it's not that far fetched that he would like, because there's such a death rider's grip on that AEW world. We haven't even seen that beautiful belt in so long. It's been in that briefcase. That, I mean, if you are an AEW guy and Hangman is a day one dude, he's one of the pillar, like the foundational pieces of the company, that maybe he would say, you know what, but I need him to explain that. I need him to go, this is why I'm helping you. It's not because I want to help you. It's because I want to dethrone this guy.
Yeah.
And get this shit over with so that we can go back to being AEW. But they also haven't done that much layering on the Death Riders side for us to go, well, Mox is taking over AEW.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I like the idea of Swerve and Hangman never getting along. Like, I would never want to see them in a tag match together. Like,
yeah.
You tried to steal the man's baby, and he drank blood. You can't be friends.
Burn his house down.
Yeah, he burned the house down. You can't be friends. I wouldn't want your help.
There's certain things like I don't care.
If I'm Swerve, I wouldn't want it. I'd be like, I don't need
being your friend, bro.
Yeah, what the fuck. My house. That was my house. That was my home.
Yeah.
That's where I come to get peace, dog. 21 Jump Street. You're my temple.
Yeah, that one I remember.
You burned down my temple.
Yeah. MJF joined the Hurt Syndicate last night. That happened.
Kinda.
No, I mean, yeah, he did. But look, I really liked what they did.
I think his acceptance was revoked by one big bad Bobby Lashley.
Well,
Bobby Lashley said, "I don't think so, dog."
I very much like this. So MJF comes out. He does his typical thing. They were in Minnesota, so he said that Michael Jackson is a legend, and he called Prince. What did he call him? He called Prince a talentless hack.
He sure did.
Prince. Anyway, so
well, I mean, if you're going for a heel, move, that's the move.
I get it. Prince, talentless hack.
Anyway. If he would have came out and said a talentless hack was a talentless hack, we'd all be like, okay.
He could have called that. He could have called Anthony Edwards. You can call some Prince.
Well, Anthony Edwards ain't a talentless hack.
Neither is Prince.
What's called heel heat, my guy.
I know. I'm kidding.
Come on.
So he comes out.
Are you really that into Prince?
No, I just.
When's the last time you fired up Purple Rain?
It's been a while, but I mean, if it's on the radio, I don't change it.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't
That's
change
fair.
it. That's fair. Yeah.
Your Spotify Wrapped is gonna have Prince at the top.
Absolutely not. It's going to have the same bands I've listened to for fucking 18 years.
Right.
So the story so far has been my number one Spotify Wrapped band for 4 straight years. Jay Jivs. Yes, that is true. MJF did throw out the first pitch of the Red Sox Rangers game. It was in Texas.
Did he,
so
did
obviously
he throw
he bounced it. He threw an Ephus pitch and bounced it.
Bum.
Threw an Ephus.
I thought he'd at least fire one in there.
I was thinking about that. It was a very soft toss.
I was thinking about that the other day. So with opening day starting, like who would be a solid starting like lineup if wrestlers played baseball?
Mm-hmm.
And I had MJF that like he gives off like third baseman vibes. Like just
sure, no, he grew up in the theater, man. He can't play sports.
But I'm saying like he would be if I was going to put him in my lineup, I would have him.
When you look at back in our, he was openly said he was like a theater arts kid, so he probably didn't. He probably, if you saw the throw today,
then I'm not putting him on my squad.
You probably would assume he didn't have much of a sports background.
So I got to put him at second base because he can't.
He played football though. He played football.
Yeah, what's what I'm saying?
Because he was a big guy.
He gives me like just like
at least I don't think he played baseball. I don't think he played
stocky third baseman vibes.
Maybe like in build.
I'd have like Javon Evans in center field just robbing home runs.
I mean, that used to be one of the main things because I grew up being a soccer fan. And obviously America is behind a lot of countries when it comes to soccer. And that would be the main argument I would hear from like my coaches. Well, you got to think about it. What if all of our best athletes played soccer? Like, what if like LeBron James, his only choice was soccer? Like, what if those type of guys, their only choice was soccer, our national soccer team? If you had LeBron James out there, he'd be running people like it'd be nobody could, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Sure.
But anyway, yeah. So MJF comes out, he calls out MVP, and he says that he wants to join the Hurt Business, and they're about to shake hands. And Bobby and Shelton come out. Love the reception that the Minnesota people gave to Shelton. So obviously, I went to school there. Yeah. They were chanting his name.
I just love the reception the Hurt Business gets overall. It's awesome.
The Hurt what?
Syndicate. Sorry.
How dare you?
Oh,
how dare you? How dare you?
I've said far worse like WWE.
I call Adam Copeland Edge weekly.
I know that's worse because it's Cope now.
No, it will never be.
Are you a professional?
I actually think that I called him that on Firmly today. I actually think that I let it go, and it was the first time ever I've called him that.
How did it feel?
Not good. Felt dirty, actually. But anyway. So Bobby and Shelton. Well, Bobby specifically gets in Max's face. It looks like he's going for a handshake, but he goes, "Give me the card. Give me the card." And Max finally gives him the card, and Bobby kind of looks at MVP and Shelton, and he rips it up in Max's face. Max then kind of steps to Bobby and is like, "Do we got a problem here?" And MVP's like, "No, we're cool. We're cool." And MJF leaves the ring. And then we had Big Bill and Brian Keith come out and do like a little thing because they're trying to go for the tag titles. But
because Chris Jericho told him, "You've been under my learning tree for so long and you haven't invoked my wisdom. Go prove yourselves." And they're like, "We're going to step to Bobby Lashley," which is great. Big Bill's fantastic. Brian Keith cool, but in storyline sense, like, is that how you want to prove yourself?
And MVP basically said, "How about you go win some matches first before you start barking at us, huh? You haven't done shit."
That was awesome. Because MVP, and again, MVP does not usually back down from anything, but even he, because he like Outrunners, he's like, "Yep, sure, whatever." But he's like, "You guys have no reason to be even talking to us. Go get some wins." That was real smart. That was really smart. I like that. So naturally, the Brian Keith and Bill are going to get a win.
You think?
It's a foregone conclusion. They'll get a win and then they'll get a match.
100%. Well, we also, because then later on there was a backstage segment with just the Hurt Syndicate, and Bobby was kind of going at MVP a little bit, and he was like, "Hey, man, like you told us to go on vacation last week, take the week off, and then we see you a couple weeks ago, whatever, we see you dealing with MJF. Like, what's this shit?" And MVP is like, "Hey, You know, and Bobby goes, he's grimy. We know he's not a good guy. He's grimy. We don't want that in here. And MVP goes, look, I know he's a bad guy. He goes, but his bad characteristics are why I like him and why I think he will fit us well. But I did like how MVP was also like, but hey, we are the Hurt Syndicate. If you guys don't want him in, he's not in.
Yeah.
He's not in. He goes, but let's think about it. You guys focus on Big Bill and that crap, and we'll get to this. But like, if you guys don't want him, he's not in.
But if you're MJF, would you want to be in now?
Yeah, I think MJF wants to.
You didn't want me. Now you want me?
I think MJF is going to do whatever's best for him to get where he needs to go, no matter the scenario. And I think that's what happens. But I thought that was a pretty good stuff. Yeah, Jericho and the whole Big Bill stuff. Yeah.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
Because he's going after Bandito's mask now.
Yeah, Bandito got Gravity's mask back from
and
Jericho.
That match is at Dynasty if Bandito accepts.
But it's title versus mask.
Did he end up accepting? I did kind of have to like cut in and out of the back half.
I don't know if he did. I don't know.
Maybe that'll be Saturday.
But it's obviously going to happen.
Yeah.
So, Fernando says that MJF is bringing. How many different crews is MJF going to have? It's getting to be the level of Jericho here. Guy's been in like 3 different groups already. None of them have worked.
Like, you see, and that's the thing with MJF. I prefer the loner character, and I thought maybe the Adam Cole stuff would be it doesn't work out for me, but I have friends. But I mean, if Hammerstone has been the rumor that's a possibility, like if you're gonna mix it up with the Hurt Syndicate in the sense of like you're not gonna join them now because they don't want you. Hammerstone standing across from Bobby Lashley.
Imagine
not a bad shout.
Imagine Hammerstone and Wardlow.
Yeah, if they got that going, and then just standing.
And MJF just has these 2 big monsters behind him.
Yeah, but we did the Wardlow thing already. You have to figure. But yeah, I mean, it's wrestling. You guys, they could do it again. They could say, "Hey, it's the best time we had together. Let's make it. Come back, Wardlow. We missed you."
Yeah. I don't know. So that happened. The show started off. We had a pretty decent, quick match, but a good match between Blake Christian and Kenny Omega to start the show. And then afterwards, Omega grabs the mic. And he talks about how he says that he wishes he could wrestle every week, but it's unfortunate that he doesn't get to. But when he had the chance to come out here, he wanted to make sure he had it quick, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts leaning into the Speedball Ricochet match at Dynasty.
Can I laugh at that for a second? Like, I wish I could wrestle every week. You could.
Well, maybe. What if he's not cleared to wrestle every week, though?
But he's Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I know.
He says, I want to wrestle somewhere.
Yeah.
He made it sound like they're like hamstringing me, guys, but this is the city where I said no.
Yeah.
Come on,
Kenny. Speedball Mike Bailey comes out.
Yeah.
Wearing shoes.
Yeah, good on Speedball.
Wearing shoes. Who
wearing shoes and cutting.
This is I like this from him.
I liked it. It wasn't heel. It was more like, look, I got some edge to me. Like, I love you. I respect you, but I'll kick your head off.
Yeah, and I loved it. He gets out there. He congratulates Kenny. He says that Kenny's an inspiration to him. Yeah. He said that even more than that, he admires Kenny as a wrestler, but as a person and a champion. And then, like you said, he kind of gets right in Kenny's face a little bit, and he goes, "But come Dynasty, even though I respect you, I'm not going to hold anything back or pull any punches, and I will not hesitate to kick your head clean off and take that title," which I thought was good. I liked that aggression from Speedball because he is a nice person, but he'll do whatever he has to do, which I like that angle from him. And then we see from them. My apologies. From them. Then we see from Ricochet. Them. Yeah. Speedball goes by they them. So
I thought you meant there was
that.
No, I thought you were saying them on the screen.
No,
I was like, it was just Ricochet. No. We'll hear from them, and I was like,
I said him, so I.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. No, 100%.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right on that. 100%. I thought you were talking. There was more people, and I was like, it was just Ricochet's goofy ass.
No, I was just trying to. Correct myself.
No, yeah, 100%.
So then Ricochet this piece of shit. First of all, before I dive in on this, congratulations to Ricochet and Samantha Irvin. They got married, and that's cool. So congratulations, obviously. Now back to talking about the character of Ricochet, this piece of shit. So this guy, all right? This guy. He shows up on the screen. He says that he'd love to have been there in person to slap the taste out of both of their mouths, but today's his wedding. He's dressed for the best day of his life. And this is why I'm kind of calling him a POS, because he said, I'm dressed for the best day of my life until April 6th, when I show everyone how out of this world I am by beating a cornball and a former best bout machine. So he's saying that when he, according to him, when he wins the international title at Dynasty on April 6th, that will then be the best day of his life over his wedding day.
And Samantha Irvin saw that and went, what the fuck?
Come on, bro. Even if you believe it, you can't say it.
I mean,
you can't say it.
I don't want to. I don't want to dive deep into the inner workings of people's personal lives. But maybe this will be the best day of his life. Maybe him and, you know what I'm saying? I don't know their relationship. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like maybe it's a vanity marriage. I don't know. Maybe he's all about it. You gotta think.
So Ricochet says on April 6th.
Although, how funny is that though? Like 20 years down the line, they're like renewing their wedding vows.
Yeah.
And he goes, she's like, I thought that Dynasty was the international championship you won at Dynasty, and that random pay-per-view back 20 years ago was the best day of your life. What are you talking about? And she just needles them for the rest of their lives. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. And then he basically says that on Dynasty, he says on April 6th, Ricochet leaves Dynasty with both the girl and the gold. And then he did the stupid bird laugh. And then that was it. One thing for Ricochet, I will say, at least he wasn't wearing something stupid on his head this week.
Go Birds, baby.
Boy. But and then so then they get back to the ring. Kenny says, hey, it's not about making friends. And then he said, I have a cat. I don't need any more friends. And in that moment I went.
And people popped for that.
Yeah, as they should.
They popped.
As they should. I was
lonely cat man, Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's a cat lady, dude.
Hell yeah. And then he said it, and as good a guy as Bailey is, and as big a piece of garbage as Ricochet is, the title is my legacy. And consider the both of them just another stepping stone at solidifying it. Then he officially welcomed Speedball to AEW, and then he did I bid you adieu, good night, ba ba ba,
Yeah.
So good little promo. I thought everybody looked good. I thought everybody did well in their job. I did not see the Swerve comment. I'm going to be honest with you. I do have a Blue Sky. I probably need to use it more, but it's just not. Yeah, I don't go over there as much as I probably should. But
it's hard. There's so many social media.
There's so many things, and like there are so many so many people that aren't over there yet. That like, as much as I don't get traction on the Twitter, on the Bird app, I get even less over there because there's nobody over there, So it's kind of just like, I was hoping for better things, but I thought this opening segment was really good. I would not hate that, Fernando. I don't think so, though. They are clearly building to Okada and Kenny at All In to unify those titles. That is the match we're getting it All In. That's where they're going. So I would love Speedball shocking the world and winning that title. I do think Speedball has a bright future in AEW. But this is Kenny all day. This is Kenny all day for me. We'll talk about it more in depth next week, as that it'll be the go home show and stuff like that. Dynasty next week.
Should probably start planning that out.
But that is, that is Kenny all day,
next week.
All day, every day for me. They are not gonna not do Kenny and Okada. They're just not gonna not do it. So that is how I feel about that. What about this new great tag team? No, first of all, time out before we talk about the tag team main event. Brody King and Kyle Fletcher ruled. This match ruled. They beat the crap out of each other.
My only takeaway from that match is what do we got to do?
To
What
get
do
Brody
we
King
got
some
to do?
wins.
Get some Brody to do some damn wins, man.
Literally
He's
what I was gonna
so
say.
good. He is so good. Fletcher's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like
Mm.
Kyle Fletcher's fantastic too. So it makes sense. But at the same time, like, why can't we just have Brody King go on this heater where he just runs through like Griff fucking Garrison or something? Like, give me some Brody King wins, man. I want it.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah.
But it was fine. It was a good match. It was awesome. I like Kyle Fletcher too. He shouldn't be losing either, but damn. I was like, give it to Brody.
It was so good, dude. It was so good. They gave them so much time.
Mm-hmm.
There was so many great spots in this match. It was just one of those matches where these guys just put it all out there. But for me, and I agree with you, like, I just need Brody King to win some shit, man. I just need Brody King to win some shit. That's all. I don't let him keep having these banger matches like this, but he needs to win some shit.
Why isn't he doing more with Buddy Matthews in the tag side of things?
I think Buddy's hurt.
Is that what it is? Because
I think
I noticed Brody hasn't been barking as much lately.
Yeah.
The Hounds of Hell thing hasn't been taken off. So I don't know. I just love Brody King, so I just want him to win. But
yeah,
cool. It was a good match.
So yeah, Fletcher wins after the match. He gets attacked by the Callis family. Powerhouse comes out to kind of even the odds from the crowd. And then that led to the Mark Davis Powerhouse Will Hobbs match, which was a quick match.
Yeah.
But I thought for the second, they're making Mark Davis look pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a bigger boy than I thought he was. How do you feel about Nick Wayne, bro?
I like this side of Nick Wayne. I like that we're giving some, he's taken it's the, obviously it's not the traditional sense in the word, but it's like that son who thinks like dad's out to pasture. It's my time to take over. Because when he said that line of like, I'm going to complete the plan, actually execute it well type, whatever he kind of said there. I like it. It's this young Nick Wayne. He is 18, for God's sake. He is young, and then Christian's an old man. But I love this. Like, I think I'm big enough to swing, Dad. And Christian's gonna eventually be like, okay, show me what you got. Yeah. And I dig it. I dig it a lot. And Mama Wayne just sitting back there, kind of like not supporting her son. She's very stoic, but you could tell that she's kind of like proud of my boy here for. Yeah. Saying it with his chest, so to speak. So I'm digging it. I'm digging Nick Wayne in this little for this newfound like, I got balls. Watch me, Dad. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all remember when we were teenage men who stepped to our fathers for the first time, or like maybe they not kicked his ass, but said, you know what, I don't have to take this shit, Dad. I'm a man too. Come after me.
I didn't have that moment.
You know what I mean? You never had like a moment with your dad where you're like, I'm a man now. I'm not saying you never kicked your dad's ass, but I'm sure you had a disagreement or two where you're like, I'm a man. And that's kind of where Nick Wayne's at. He's like, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
You weren't my dad to begin with. I'm going to kick your ass.
I mean that's a little different though, because Nick Wayne.
Ophelia does not remember being a young man. Okay.
Bless fair. You. I mean, you're lucky for it. You're lucky
fair.
For it.
Us men who remember being young men. I remember that first time that I thought my shit didn't stick, and I told my dad how it was going to be, and I was like, "Oh, well, I was."
Yeah, see, I just wasn't like that though. Yeah. Maybe, and I wasn't a good I was obviously a good kid, but like I was a rabble rouser.
Yeah, you ripped your sister's eye out of her.
I ripped my sister's eye out of her socket. And in 6th grade, you're supposed to get kicked out of school if you get 3 conduct slips. I got 6. I got 6, and they kept me in there because you know why? I was a smooth talker. I talked myself.
Maybe I'm overstepping in the sense of like the fighting your dad thing, but every young man or every young person probably too. I don't know how it is I'm just speaking more because I'm boy. But when I thought I had it all figured out, thought I could take over.
Yeah. I think my dad waited for me to do something stupid, and then he was like, "You fucking idiot," and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Come on," And then he would just have like me and my dad never had like any like long talks like that, but my dad would he was the type of guy that he would pepper things in. Like we'd be doing something together, or we'd doing, we're out doing lawn work, yard work, or we're going to the store or whatever, and we'd be talking about other things. And if he had like a nugget of like, he would like throw it in there, but it was never like, hey, come here, we got to talk.
Yeah,
I didn't really. No,
yeah.
We talked all the time though.
Nick Wayne's going to be the head of the patriarchy. And
he could be.
Christian's going to go. You think it's this easy, buddy?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go. Yeah, it is, because you don't do anything, Christian.
It's true. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about, because you said that you liked it, was the sit down. Adam Copeland and FTR. The sit down starts. Dax Harwood right out the chute is like, "Hey, I'm sorry about last week. My emotions got the best of me." He says, I feel like FTR has been on a path to try to get the World Tag Team titles back, and we kind of put that aside to help Adam out, try to help him with the Death Rider situation. And he had 2 attempts, and it's been 4 months now. And he had 2 attempts and he failed them both. And I was frustrated. I shouldn't react to that way. I'm sorry. Adam cuts him off and is like, hey, you're kind of acting like I forced you to stop going for the tag titles. Like, that's not what this was at all. Like, it wasn't like that at all. And Cash Wheeler is kind of like in the middle.
Guys.
Like literally in the middle, sitting between them two. But he's like literally in the middle of this.
Fighting.
Yeah. And he's kind of looking at both of them and he goes, hey, let me just say respectfully, I feel like we've all let our emotions get the best of us here a little bit. He goes, I hate being stuck between you guys. He goes, everyone knows the history between me and Dax, but me and Adam have a very good history. He said at one point in my wrestling journey, I was living in my car and Adam let me live with him and like give me a place to stay. And
1000% was leaning on Cope's side for sure.
100%. Which means he's gonna turn on Copeland.
No, I think.
Wait, they're breaking up FTR?
I think Cope and Cash are gonna edge out Dax.
No, that can't happen. You think?
I don't want him to break up FTR, but if you're gonna do this, the money for me is like Dax Harwood is a bona fide fucking baby face, dude. We've seen it. He's crushed it. Like him turning heel on Cash and Cope, like have Cope and Cash be like, we're gonna do our thing now. Like, you're the one without the C name. Get the hell out of here.
Maybe. I don't know.
I like to think of things that it's too, when they do these things where it's too on the nose, where it's like Dax gonna be the one that like turns on them in this trios championship match at Dynasty, that Copeland has kind of said we're doing this, and then Cash is like, yeah, I could see them two being like, let's do our thing for a while.
Yeah. Well,
although I don't think you should break them up at all because you need dominant.
No, but I did listen to Jeremy Lambert, our pal, and he thinks that Cope is going to turn heel on both of FTR. And I think about it and I go, okay, well, if he would have turned, then maybe you could start to set up Edge and Christian, Copeland and Christian, realigning at some point, and you could build to that versus FTR. That would be.
You could do that. That's a great idea.
Like that you could do something like that.
Yeah.
If Adam Copeland is the guy that ends up turning heel,
I think he is. But again, I think he's going to do this thing where he's going to try to split the wedge between Cash and Dax, and I think at some point Cash might think about it.
Yeah.
I get to go hang out with Adam Copeland, one of the legends in the game. And
because even after this part where Cash is like, I just want us to all be on the same page, and Dax is like, hey, that's why I'm apologizing, and I think we should refocus, and we should be going after the Hurt Syndicate for the tag titles. And even in that moment, Cash is like, well, wait a minute. He's like, wait, I think we still have something here, the three of us. I think we should be going after the trios titles. And then Copeland challenges the Death Riders to a trios match for the titles at Dynasty, which later on in the evening is accepted by the Death Riders.
We're gonna keep it going.
Yeah, so that is happening. At
least Dax is the voice of reason. Like, we need something different here. We need to go do something different because we can't keep coming back to these Death Rider guys.
Yeah,
Cope's like, I ain't done. No, ever. Top guys out. Nope. FTR rated R. FTR out.
Yeah. And then last but not least, let me tell you, Tony Storm. In the main event, Second week in a row, the women have main evented Dynamite. First time ever that has happened. Let's keep that type of energy. Megan Bayne teaming with Penelope Ford to go up against a team that used to be called Thunderstorm. But according to Tony Storm,
I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
Thunder Tits. Yeah, we are. Why can't we say that? What's wrong with that? We've said worse things. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. Family
she
show.
said it on the show.
I don't just say we're family show, man.
Thunder Tits. Can I tell you, I was eating pizza when that happened, and I legitimately almost choked because I started laughing with the way that, because Thunder Rosa's wearing the Thunderstorm shirt, and she's like, oh, we're gonna say it together. She's like, we're gonna say it together. And Thunder Rosa's so ready to do it. She's like, duh. And then Tony Storm just yells it. Thunder looks at her and goes, that's not our name. She goes, not anymore.
Not anymore. Affiliate family show, ? And then she says, Kay, yeah, I have a family. This is a show, family show.
Fair enough.
It's a very loose. I mean, I'm using family show very loosely. Obviously, we say some things.
Yeah. So at the end of this match, Pluggo, Megan Bayne hits the Fate's Descent, and she pins the champion Tony Storm clean as a sheet in the middle of the ring. And I'm going to say it.
Which means she's losing a dynasty. She shouldn't, but she's going to now.
I think that will be a big mistake.
I do too.
I think that they need to go with this, and they need to pull it, and she needs to win the title at Dynasty.
I understand why you would have Tony Storm retain. I get it. I just, with AEW, they have a tendency of not pulling the trigger when they got to do it sometime. And I thought they were going to do it with Ricochet. Remember, I was very a proponent of Ricochet when he had his first title match. Pull the trigger there. They didn't do it.
I thought Ricochet should have won the Battle Royal in his debut.
Yeah, but even all that aside, they've just presented Megan so well that if they put the title on her and let Tony Storm chase a little bit, or even, like I said, if we're going to end up eventually getting Mercedes and with Athena at some point, maybe Mercedes loses that match and she gets it. There's opportunities here that we could do something really special with Megan Bayne. So I'm all for it. Will it happen? I'm not super confident about it, but I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm crazy.
You know, and we'll talk more in depth about it next week, obviously, as we're talking about Dynasty. But I feel like they've done a really great job at building Megan Bayne. Like, I can't remember a build that has been this solid for not just but for a lot of people in AEW, but especially for a female. Tanner, this guy. I'll be chatting with him in a few days. Chatting with him and the gang.
See you soon.
And then I'll be coming for that championship belt next week. Ya bitch. Anyway, he knows I love him.
We're gonna lay cool. We're gonna lay cool that thing and cut it.
Cut it right in half. Cut it right in half.
Send it back. Send it back to him. Yeah. Pieces. We're putting that championship in a body bag.
Yep. But and again, we'll talk more in depth next week because I'm going to want to talk about this at length. But I think that AEW has a real opportunity to cement a brand new super duper star if they pull the trigger with Megan Bayne. I think they've done a perfect job of building her as a credible challenger, like more than a credible, like as a threat, really. They built her as a threat. Again,
it's not a mistake that they're main eventing either. Like, she's the main event 2 weeks in a row for a reason. Like,
yeah, and I think they need to do it.
There's a lot of good things going.
Yeah, and like you've said before, not every time, just because she wins the title from Tony, doesn't mean she needs to hold it for a year and a half.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like, and I know Tony just won it back, but she's held it 4 times. She's okay. It'll be okay if one of the times is only for a few weeks. Like, it's fine, a month or 2. Like, it's fine. I just think you have an opportunity to really, really cement a new superstar in your company. You take the opportunity. And if Tony loses that belt, you know how much that hurts Tony Storm? Zilch. Not an ounce. Not an ounce.
She doesn't need it.
But you know how much a loss to Megan Bayne would hurt Megan Bayne? Pretty good.
A little bit.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty good.
Again, it's just like this. Like we know, like again, Speedball debuts. He's got a title match. We know he's not winning it, right? So you're just like, here's your, and you've done so well with her. You've done so well with the women's division as a whole. So like, it's getting so much better. There's actual like stories and things are getting. Like, here's an opportunity to be like, look what we have here. This brand new champion, and we're going to take that shot because you got to take chances, man. That's all. Take some shots. Take some chances.
Yep.
Takes it. The Beards can bring it. We're gonna bring it, Tanner. We're not. We can bring it. No, we will bring it.
Oh, we are.
For those that don't know, we're coming after the Kicking Out Pod Boys championship belt that they have. They challenged us. They pulled some shenanigans the last time that we were around, saying like, oh, ties and this and that. They were being real cute about it, so we didn't bring the belt home, even though we should have.
Yep.
This time, we're leaving no doubt. They're gonna remember the night that they played the Titans.
I was going to say, was that you doing Remember the Titans?
I don't want them to get all night.
I don't want them to gain
another yard.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
Tanner,
let them remember forever.
Tanner, Shep, Paul, you will remember the night you pricked against the Beards.
That's right. I don't want them to pick another winner.
Perfect way to
all night.
Confidence points through the roof.
Good. What a movie. What a movie.
Such a good movie.
What a movie. Yeah. On that note,
we did it.
We're going to get out of here. Yes, we did it. Another great episode tonight. 201 in the books on the road to 300. On the road to 300. Yes, so I will be joining Tanner Lee and the Kicking Out Pod boys on Sunday evening. Pluggo just joined them last week. Next week, like we've been saying, we'll both be on there for the pick show, which we will be bringing home the championship. So be on the lookout for that. Pluggo and I will be back, obviously, next Thursday night and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Next week, we'll be diving into AEW Dynasty talk as well as continuing the road to WrestleMania. They are having their last week over in Europe before they come back to the States for the last few weeks before Mania. So be on the lookout there. I'm going to let Pluggo do his damn thing and plug our stuff.
Real quick, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, LPW 35 Into the Void goes down. Effie, your GCW champion, takes on Stephen Crow for the GCW title. So we could have a GCW champion in LPW. And then we've got T.Y. Jackson's taking on Mars' Specialist. Intangible Violence is taking on Paralira. There's a badass scramble match. All sorts of fun stuff on that card. You want to check it out. It's live on IWTV, so make sure you check that out. I know I'm missing. Who am I missing? No, I think that's it. Oh, there's one more. Yeah, I think I did actually.
Yeah.
I don't know all the participants in the scramble match off the top of my head, but I know it's Eli Surge is in the house. Elliot Tyler, who I will be we talked with this past week on For Exposure. It'll air Saturday at 10 a.m. Maybe he'll be the new Scramble champion at that point. That'll be interesting.
Could be.
But that's at For Exposure Pod. All of the fun stuff that we do here at B2 Beards. I'm finally starting to feel better, so hopefully I'll start promoting things a little bit better. I didn't promote much of the Kicking Out Pod and all that stuff last week and the shows last week and everything because I've been sick, but I'm back at it at B2 Beards on all social media to know what we've got going on, what we've got coming up, bracket pools, all that fun stuff will be announced on there. And then I'm on Pluggo. You can find me at Pluggo on all social media platforms.
Heck, yeah, man. I'm JPJ.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
We didn't even talk about the badass that was Stephanie McCurr.
Stephanie McCurr defended both those titles on Tuesday.
Killing it.
And I've been saying it for a month. Trick Williams is going to be the leader of that new group.
Whoop that Trick. We'll talk about that a little further next week.
Yeah, he's going to be the leader of that new group. I've been saying it for a month. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms every Thursday night with this big fella over here. Between Two Beers, the flagship here at Love Wrestling. Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. Firmly Love Wrestling. We talk WWE on Tuesdays. We talk AEW on Thursdays with my pal Drew Nicholas. There. Monday nights after Monday Night Raw. You can find me over on bodyslam.net. We doing the Raw Dogs with my pals Nick and Corey Hayes. Shout out to Corey Hayes. He broke the story that was confirmed today that they are going to do an Evolution 2. WWE is going to do an Evolution all women's pay-per-view 2 at some point this summer. And Corey was kind of the guy that broke that and got that news. So big ups to him. Big ups to him. That's a big story for him. So shout out to him. But other than that, that's where you can find me everywhere here at Love Wrestling and on my own stuff. We do watch-alongs for Raw and NXT. Pluggo's popped on a NXT one with us before. We do watch-alongs on my channel as well with Ophelia and some of our other pals, Josh Robinson, Pluggo, Drew's been on them. Just kind of get some friends together, hang out, watch the shows. We're all watching them anyway. So,
And I'll probably get yelled at for this, but the other match is the Challenge Championship match between Michael Richard Blaze and Miles DeVille.
Ooh, Miles DeVille, who you talk to.
Who I talk to.
For the LPW show.
The MRB scares me, so I forget sometimes.
You try not to remember MRB.
I mean, because he yells at me.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Friend of the show.
I am on good terms with MRB. I like MRB, but he does kind of not like you a lot.
You know who also doesn't like us? Sue.
Why doesn't she? Yeah, I mean,
yeah, she yells at us too.
She does. But thank you, everyone, for your being in the chat.
Yep.
For being here every Thursday with us. We appreciate you all very greatly. Tune in tomorrow night, IWTV, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Mountain. Love Pro Wrestling, Into the Void. A hell of a card. The GCW Championship getting defended tomorrow night on an LPW
Bring that thing home, Stephen Crow. We love that thing. Bring it home.
Trying to bring it home to LPW off of the champion Effie. Also, this guy and myself, we got to talk to Effie about this championship match. It's on the Love Wrestling YouTube. Pluggo put out a tweet with it on there as well. So go check that out if you haven't already. It is worth your time. Effie gave us more time than we were expecting, and he dived into a lot of stuff in the short amount of time he was with us. So go check that out. He talks about Stephen Crow. He talks about LPW. He talks about the match tomorrow. So go check that out as well. All right, now it's official. You know the drill, guys. We'll see you next Thursday. And until then, say hi to Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Peace out.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans.